Zombies pile atop one another, clawing their way over the wall. The city falls within minutes. As Gerry flees with soldiers, he notices something strange. The infected ignore a sickly boy and an elderly man. In the chaos, a young soldier, Segan, is bitten. Gerry acts fast, severing her hand to stop the infection. Morning traffic crawls at a standstill. Inside one car sits Gerry Lane, a former United Nations investigator, with his wife Karen and their 2 daughters. It looks like an ordinary commute, until it doesn't. Sirens rise in the distance. A helicopter streaks overhead, far too low for comfort. Then, suddenly, chaos. A man in the street is attacked, bitten, and in seconds, he convulses, twists, and turns into something no longer human. The infection spreads like fire. Each bite creates another predator. Pedestrians run. Cars smash into one another in blind panic. Gerry stares in shock as the city collapses in minutes. Their vehicle is struck, forcing Gerry to abandon it. Thinking fast, he commandeers an RV and speeds through the streets, his family clinging to each other in the back. Philadelphia is gone. They reach New York, New Jersey, desperate for shelter. At a supermarket, they rush to gather food and medicine. But zombies burst through the entrance, tearing into shoppers. Gerry leads his family out the back door and into an apartment building. Inside, they encounter a small family hiding with their son, Tommy. Gerry makes contact with his old UN ally, Thierry, who promises a rooftop extraction at dawn. By morning, Gerry urges Tommy's parents to join the evacuation. They refuse. Moments later, their apartment is breached. Gerry fights his way up the stairwell, buying seconds for Karen, the girls, and Tommy to reach the roof. Just as the dead flood the building, a military helicopter swoops in. Gerry yanks Tommy aboard, and they escape into the sky. The family is brought to a U.S. Navy vessel in the Atlantic, now serving as a floating command center. Scientists there study the plague. One of them, Dr. Fosbach, insists the only way to stop it is to track the outbreak back to its origin. Thierry delivers the hard truth. Gerry's family can only stay on the ship if he agrees to join the mission. With no choice, Gerry boards a plane with Fosbach. Their destination, South Korea. The airfield is shrouded in darkness. As they land, a swarm of zombies attacks. In the chaos, Fosbach panics, slips on the ramp and shoots himself dead. The team drags Gerry into the base, barely alive. Survivors explain that the virus spread after soldiers tried to treat infected locals. A CIA operative locked in a cell tells Gerry of one place that still stands, Jerusalem, protected by massive walls. On the way back to the plane, the undead swarm again. Captain Speak, the unit's commander, is bitten, rather than turn. But the celebration inside grows loud. Refugees sing and cheer, and the noise draws the horde. Zombies pile atop one another, clawing their way over the wall. The city falls within minutes. As Gerry flees with soldiers, he notices something strange. The infected ignore a sickly boy and an elderly man. In the chaos, a young soldier, Segan, is bitten. Gerry acts fast, severing her hand to stop the infection. Together, they scramble onto a commercial flight as Jerusalem collapses. At first, the flight is calm. Survivors breathe relief. Then, a sound from the back. A single zombie had slipped on board. Within seconds, passengers are attacked. The infection spreads like wildfire through the cabin. In desperation, Gerry yanks the pin from a grenade. The explosion blows a hole in the fuselage, sucking the zombies into the sky. But the blast cripples the aircraft. It crash lands in the Welsh countryside. Bruised and broken, Gerry and Segan stumble toward a nearby World Health Organization research center. Gerry collapses and wakes 3 days later inside. He shares his theory. The infected avoid those who are already gravely sick or terminally ill. If humans could temporarily infect themselves with deadly but treatable diseases, they might become invisible to the horde. To prove it, Gerry volunteers. With 2 WHO doctors, he enters the quarantine wing, now swarming with zombies. The corridors echo with snarls. At the end lies a vault of deadly pathogens. Cornered, Gerry has no way out. He chooses a vial at random and injects himself. Moments later, a zombie charges, but stops inches away. It sniffs, confused, then turns aside. Gerry walks calmly back down the hallway, past a dozen creatures that don't even see him. The gamble works. With this discovery, A new camouflage is developed from weakened pathogens. Soldiers and survivors around the world finally gain a weapon. Not to kill the zombies, but to hide among them and fight back strategically. Reunited with his family in a safe zone, Gerry delivers a final warning. This isn't the end, not even close. Our war has just begun.